I'm scared of my dad. I always have been. My dad's 84. I still think he could take me. It's fucked up. I still think he could take me. Because when I was 7 years old, my older brother had that moment. He wanted that come to Jesus meeting with my father. He said, I've had enough, old man. Me and you are going to fight. All right? Let's go outside. So we go outside. It's my dad facing off against my brother. I'm 7. I'm standing next to my mom. My mom's crying. I'm like, shut up, bitch. This is amazing. Just let it happen. My brother gets in my dad's face and he's poking him in the chest. He said, I had to hear you fucking shit, old man. I had. We're going to fight. So my dad grabbed his left arm and fell down on his knees going, oh. And my brother's like, oh my God, Dad, are you having a heart attack? And that's when my dad uppercut my brother in the balls. Put my brother down. My dad got up, stepped over him, and said, if you come to fuck with me, pack a lunch. And we went inside. And that's why I don't have a good relationship with my father.
Welcome to another episode of No Huntsville Presents Front Row. I am your host, Scott Eason. Thank you for joining us today. We are here again to talk about all the comedy happenings here in beautiful Huntsville, Alabama. And I am joined today by a very special guest, Mrs. Kimberly Wilson is joining me today. She is a comedian, an improviser, and also a new venue owner here in the Rocket City. And I want to talk to her a little bit about how she got started, and then we'll segue into Shenanigans Comedy Theater, which is the brand new venue here in Huntsville over off of Lehman Ferry Road. Tell us about where you come from. Why are you here? What made you choose our little paradise in Alabama?
I'm kind of a Huntsville native.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lacey Spring.
Oh,
so
don't.
Right
no,
over the
you
river,
are not a Huntsville native. You are a river rat. We all know.
You're right.
It's
okay. Of course, frequent at Huntsville all the time because there's nothing else in Lacey Springs besides.
Still not.
Yeah, agreed. I got my teaching degree at Athens State, and there were no jobs around, so I moved to Texas for 17 years, and that's where I really got into improv, was in Austin, Texas. And I loved Austin and was there, but my parents were still here, and they were getting older, so I came back home to be with them. I did some open mic stuff back in Huntsville before I ever went to Austin. I do remember that I liked it, and I got somewhat positive feedback from it, but that's about all I remember. And then I kind of dropped it for career and such, but there was always something kind of eating at me about doing stand-up again. Then I was at a show at Stand Up Live. I saw that they were going to start offering comedy classes, and I said, well, this will be my opportunity to figure out if this is going to be something or it isn't. So I signed up for the first ever comedy class at Stand Up Live. Not only did I get bitten by the stand-up bug, but I just learned so much from the class and got so much from it and just haven't stopped since.
I've heard the instructors of that class
They
are really good.
Amazing.
I've heard the instructors are fantastic. The class that she's talking about, we do stand-up classes at Stand Up Live, led by Jonathan Craig, who is our wonderful correspondent from Stand Up Live here on Front Row. You're going to see him a little bit later. I am an instructor in that class, as well as fellow Huntsville comedian Brandon Imes. So the three of us teach those classes, and we try to do one about once a quarter. And they've been really successful. They've actually turned out some pretty good comedians here in town, including Mrs. Wilson here. So she's actually our star pupil from our first class. I'll go ahead and say it. She's been great ever since then. Now you started performing in Huntsville pretty quickly, and you hit the ground running. And you've been visiting a lot of other scenes and doing some comedy. You did your first festival recently as well. So all systems go. Things going pretty good.
Oh, it's going surprisingly well. So I was accepted into the Portland Queer Comedy Festival.
Awesome.
And this past summer, and then the Midwest Queer Comedy Festival, and I'm about to do the East Nashville Comedy Festival. So I'm a teacher. Been a high school teacher for about 24 years now, and right before Christmas break, the high schoolers think they're real cute and smooth, trying to use their phones in class, right? Guess what, Skippy? We know what's up if you're staring at your crotch and smiling. Well, this happened last week, and I was sick of it. I'd had enough. I go stomping over there. I'm like, come on, get that phone. I got there, and there was no phone, you know? He's just staring at his crotch and smiling.
tell me a little bit about Shenanigans Comedy Theater. Now, let me preface this before you dive right in. Kimberly and her lovely wife and Jessica Cotton and Jesse Pollard, another comedian here in town, got together, and they have created a new comedy theater here in town that focuses not only on stand-up, but improv, and a lot of other different entertainment options, as well as teaching comedy, improv, things of that nature. Yep. But you also have the wonderful aspect that you are giving back to the community, operating as a nonprofit.
Right.
So just tell us a little bit about Shenanigans. Where'd the idea come from, and what are y'all doing over there? Tell us more about it.
Well, for 5 years prior, my wife and I, Jessica, had the Somerville Playhouse, which was a small entertainment venue basically in the middle of nowhere. Everybody that came there enjoyed it, but they said, man, if I could just pick this up and put it in the middle of Huntsville, you might have something. Because we just always liked producing things that were a little bit different, things that you couldn't get just anywhere. I started thinking about, okay, well, what would this look like in Huntsville? We had the heart of a nonprofit, but we didn't have the business sense when we started to start as a nonprofit. So we were kind of stuck in that aspect. So when we started considering moving our business, we knew we wanted to be a nonprofit because we liked the idea of building community and giving back to the community. We wanted to figure out ways to contribute to and add to what was already good and going on in Huntsville. So we started considering the different niches that we might be able to fill to do that. We're not making a profit at all, let alone being able to donate any. But our goal is that we're going to donate a portion of our profits to other nonprofits to help support them. Just basically continue to find ways to give back through education, like you mentioned. We want to be able to subsidize classes for people, like to basically scholarship them in.
Sure.
And do as much as we can for as little as we can to benefit people that might not otherwise be able to afford to really kind of hone their craft.
You are right now I mean, it's awesome that you're open, but you also de facto became the improv place in Huntsville, which was missing before. There was that we didn't have that. What improv troupe are you a member of there? I'm
a member of Don't Fear the Weasel, which is kind of like the house troupe, if you will. But then Rocket City Improv also is on our schedule on a rotating basis, like monthly basis. And then we also have a kind of a mashup show we call Improv Thunderdome, which is members of both troupes plus guest improvisers that'll come in as well.
So are you currently offering any type of improv classes, or is that on the horizon?
We did like a 1-day intro to improv class for kids and adults recently. We plan to do that again probably in November.
I love improv. I mean, I've done a little bit of improv myself, but when improv is done well, it's fantastic. Just like stand up, when it's not done well, it's really bad.
Agreed.
But I have seen Kimberly's troupe, Don't Fear the Weasel, and Rock City Improv, and they are both very talented improvisers. Definitely keep an eye out for that at Shenanigans. Please. I have had the fortune of going to Shenanigans and seeing it performing there. It's a beautiful space. You guys have done a bang-up job. It's an excellent smaller theater space. I think you guys seat like 120 people roundabout. I know currently you're working on your liquor license, so hopefully someday in the future you'll be able to provide that. But you currently have concession stand, provide that, and you have a lot of different programming there. So it's a really cool place to add on to the fabric of Huntsville comedy here. I think it's going to give a lot of people some opportunities in improv and other avenues, as well as providing a all ages entertainment for all different kinds of things.
We do something for everyone. We have improvised fairy tales once a month. It's completely G-rated, family-friendly, all ages. We also have Turnip and Joletta's Family Game Night, which is a G-rated event, good for all ages. I just encourage people to really look at our calendar. We put ratings on everything we do so that
they know going in what to expect.
Like he said, my name is Elliot White, which means I get a lot of job interviews. When I show up looking like this and everybody's like, oh, you almost got us, you sneaky son of a bitch. I have to start putting pictures on the application.
I realize it's not screaming manliness in the traditional sense, right? There's not a person in here tonight that looked at me and thought, oh, there's a dude that changes his own oil. I guarantee you somebody looked at me and said, well, there's a dude that can fix a vintage bicycle.
talk about what's happening, middle to the end of October into November. Tell me a little bit about what people can expect to see at Shenanigans Comedy Theater.
Even though we're not doing it to the level we want to, we are offering some free opportunities for people to hone their craft. We do an open mic a couple times a month. We also do a sketch writing workshop that's free. And we do an open improv jam that's free. Both of those are on the 27th.
That's great.
One of my favorite things that's coming up is on October 26th. We're having what I'm calling the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is a drag-tastic stand-up comedy show.
Yes.
So we have male and female impersonators that are wildly talented,
Yes.
local impersonators. And then we also have local comics who are going to dress in drag and do their sets in drag.
Yeah.
Probably the bad and the ugly part of that.
Including myself.
Yes.
I will be dressing in drag and performing at that show.
I can't
So that should be
wait.
interesting. I will take submissions for makeup people. So if you're good, let me know. Well, it sounds like you got a pretty diverse calendar. So lots of stuff to look forward to.
Maybe to the next thing, straight men. I thought about it plenty of times. Straight men, if you were going to do it, what kind of man would you have sex with? Love asking this question. Because there's so many dudes that are like, I have never thought of that. Not once. I only have missionary sex through a sheet. I have never thought of a men's penis. Not one time. Yes, you have, because I had two. We all been lonely and drunk in the shower, y'all. Come on.
So tell us where we can find you on the old interwebs. Where can they find you?
Just look for Shenanigans Comedy Theater on Facebook, and our calendar is always our cover photo, so you can see everything that's going on.
Great.
Shenaniganshsv.com, Shenanigans Comedy Theater on Instagram. We're all over the place.
Okay, and where are you physically located?
2650 Lehman Ferry Road, Suite A.
Suite A, which is basically that set of buildings right next to Wendy's.
That's it.
So yeah, right there on Lehman Ferry. You can't
Yep.
miss it. Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us
course.
today and telling us more about Shenanigans Comedy Theater and learning a little bit about you as a person and a comedian. Guys, really, Kimberly is one of the great comedians here in Huntsville. She's really up and coming and doing a lot for the comedy community here. So keep your eye out for her performing wherever you can find her, but also go check out her wonderful venue, Shenanigans Comedy Theater. So thank you for joining us today. Kimberly, thank you so much for being here. Hey, I'm Scott with Front Row, and I'm joined by Kimberly Wilson.
That's me.
Yeah. Kimberly is one of the proprietors of Shenanigans Comedy Theater, and we're here to tell you about something very cool happening at Shenanigans right here in Huntsville. They are recording for a new show called Punching Below the Bible Belt that is going to be featured on Amazon Prime next year. Kimberly is going to tell you when the next one is and how you can get there and get tickets and all that good stuff. Kimberly.
On November 23rd at 7 p.m. will be the next episode. So make sure that you go to shenaniganshsv.com or shenanigans.yapsody.com for tickets. They're only $10.
It's a great show. It's going to be featuring talent from all over the Southeast United States, and you can have your laugh immortalized on Amazon Prime forever. So get your tickets, and we'll see you at Punch Below the Bible Belt at Shenanigans. We are joined by our correspondent from Stand Up Live, Mr. Jonathan Craig. Jonathan, thank you for joining us again here on Front Row. We are going to do the Huntsville Comedy Roundup. We're going to talk about all the comedy happenings here in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're going to start off with Jonathan telling us what we can expect at Stand Up Live here in October, moving into November. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Jonathan. Tell us a little bit about what our fans can see at the club.
We have our comedy competition featuring locals and regional talent. We have Funny as Hell coming up. That's sponsored by a local beer company. We haven't decided yet, but it's going to be great. Come out and check that out.
And guys, if you use the code Front Row when you call in, you get free admission to that
give
show.
you free tickets. Just shout out that you saw and heard about it on Front Row or No Huntsville. Either one will work. You can say No Huntsville, Front Row. We'll get you in for free just because you listen to this show.
Yeah, that has comedians from all over the region that are going to come in. They're going to compete for your laughs, and one winner is going to be crowned champion at the end of the night. You're going to decide who it is. So, guys, get your free tickets for that just by mentioning No Huntsville or Front Row when you call in. You don't want to miss that show. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
And then also making her Huntsville Stand Up Live debut later this month is going to be some more. That's going to be huge. She's
I
one of
just
the
love her name.
one of
It's
the
so
queens
good.
of comedy. She's great. I hope you all come out to see that show.
She's great. If you go to those shows, trust me, you're going to have a
You're
great
going
time.
to belly
Go see
laugh
some
for
more.
an hour and a half straight.
Yes,
I mean, it's going to be
for
fun.
sure, for sure.
We have local favorite who's been here, started up. He used to come to some of our shows and open mics way back in the day.
I know,
Rocky
and
Dale
now
Davis.
he's a big boy.
Man, he's been on TV shows. He's been blowing
know.
up. It's exciting to see his rise. So you guys come out.
He was
and see
recently
him.
on Bring the Funny on NBC.
Bring the Funny. He's been on
Yeah.
MTV. He's been on CMT.
Yeah.
A little bit all over the place.
All over the
And he
place.
used to come to our shows and
Yeah,
watch.
he's an Alabama boy.
Yeah.
He's from Brookwood, Alabama, and he is coming back. He's going to headline a weekend here at Stand Up Live, and that's Halloween weekend. I think it's the 31st through the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah,
I think it's-
31st, come in costume. We want it. Who knows? We may even give away like a gift certificate or something that night. Then we have Jess Hilarious coming back in November, along with Andrew Santino that same weekend. If you don't know Andrew Santino, he's from Chicago originally, but he was
the star of Showtime's I'm Dying Up Here, which
yeah.
was a fantastic show.
I love that show, and
He's very, very funny.
he has a great podcast, Whiskey Ginger. Check that out if you haven't heard of it. Steve Ranazizi
From
gonna
the
be here.
league.
What's up, man? It's comedian Landon Lavarius coming from Atlanta, Georgia. Drove all the way up here to Huntsville to do Epic Comedy Hour, the dopest show in Huntsville. Yeah, I said it. I ain't been everywhere in Huntsville, but I've been to this one, and this one is dope, so you should definitely come back. You should come back. It look like the school Matilda went to. You'll see that Trent when she be here and all that kind of good stuff. Miss Honey, I ain't seen her yet. She used to be cute. Does Miss Honey still live around here anywhere in the little forest?
My girl got some long ass arms, so that's the weird thing about it. She got some long ass arms, like fucking on a orangutan. Don't laugh, y'all rude. She right over here. Weirdest way I found out, no, bro. We was having sex, I'm hitting from the back, and she gonna slap me in the ass. Hold on. I mean, I'm with the freaky shit with one brother, right? Tell me some drop down, get your eagle on. Now, did you drop down, get your eagle on? My mama raised a Christian.
Remember, you can go at any time online, and you can find Stand Up Live. It's huntsville.standuplive.com or just standuplive.com, and you can be redirected to the Huntsville site. You can also find Stand Up Live on social media at Stand Up Live Huntsville. Make sure you're giving them a follow. And remember, holidays right around the corner, guys.
That's
and
big
holiday
time.
parties are an important thing for everyone. Stand Up Live, it's a fantastic venue for your holiday parties. And Jonathan is the man you want to talk to. Jonathan heads up all the parties at Stand Up Live. And again, if you use the code Front Row, you're going to get 10% off your holiday party, guys, which is really a tremendous savings.
Yeah, man, we got some
on
great
these
things
parties.
going with those. I mean, clean comedy, great atmosphere. We can, whether your group's 10 people or 150 people, 300 people, we can accommodate it, get you in there for a great night of laughs, and we won't break the bank. We make it fun and affordable for everybody.
So call Stand Up Live, talk to Jonathan about that. Visit their website, check out the calendar, see what shows you want to go to. Thank you for joining us again, Jonathan.
Yeah, of
We
course.
greatly appreciate it. And remember, guys, we also have Huntsville Comedy on Facebook, where if you give that page a like and follow it, you'll see all the other comedy happenings here in town. We have shows every weekend. We have open mics every week. Plenty of opportunity for you to get out and laugh or try comedy if you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, okay. I had a girlfriend. She had a cat, but you knew that. We broke up, and okay. We broke up. Like, it was a dramatic breakup. Most breakups are, but she was wearing the Good Vibes Only t-shirt the whole time. So I guess ours was a costume production. As far as the drama scale goes, that's where it's at. But I'm single. Hey, any single queer women in the audience tonight? Okay, I won't stay out there. Cool. Not enough. We haven't met quorum. Okay.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Front Row. I want to thank, as always, No Huntsville for allowing us to do this. And remember to check out all the other great shows on the No Huntsville channel, including 86, a great show about food, Alex Tries, a great community engagement show where we have a lovely young lady, Alex, going out and trying things so she can give you the scoop. And then we have the Come Up, which highlights the fantastic hip-hop scene here in Huntsville. Did you know we had a hip-hop scene? It's great. Watch the Come Up. And, of course, the Mothership, No Huntsville. Guys, find us, like it, subscribe, do everything. We'll see you again sometime soon. Thank you for joining us here on Front Row. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for our guest, Kimberly. We're out.
Any anti-vaxxers here? Of course not. You wouldn't be healthy enough to leave your home. Thank you. If we didn't have vaccines, think about this. Think about how many cool people wouldn't be here. Right? Think about all the people who wouldn't be here. Think about the weird conversations you'd have. Right? What if you went to work and you're like, where's Dave? They'd be like, Dave's dead. Like, what happened? They're like, rubella. You'd be like, what the fuck is rubella? Rubella sounds like a roller derby girl Dave fucked over the weekend. That's what happened. She murdered him in his sleep. Doesn't sound like a contagious fucking disease. Can't call your boss and be like, I can't come in, polio's flared up, you know? Gotta stay home, get ready for my fireside chats. That's a very smart historical joke. Very smart.